You had 5 or 6 toilets lined up right next to one another. No partition in between, and right in front of them was the urinals.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
People have asked me what I hated about Algoa. And, you know, usually the ones who say this have been there and they said that they loved it. But I can tell you that most people who came from a higher level camp to Algoa, there was many things they didn't like about it. Don't get me wrong, there were some things I liked about Algoa. But first of all, I want to talk about the trip there. You know, they woke us up about 4:30 in the morning, get us all on a bus, and we leave about 7 o'clock. And we get there, because we stopped in Jefferson City for a little bit, but we get there about, it was in the afternoon sometime. But on the way there was a guy complaining that his handcuffs were too tight. And I thought he was just talking. You know, I thought he was just trying to get them loose, and I thought he was just aggravating the COs. But I do know when I got there, I never saw him again. And the thing of it is, the whole yard is open. Everybody's out at once, and pretty much all day long, and I never seen him after I got there one time. So I don't know what happened to him or anything. But anyway, let's get into why I hated it. For the 29 years I was in prison, except for the last year, it was spent in 2-man cells in maximum security prisons. You know, you only have to worry about your cellie, and you know you got your bathroom and toilet right there in the cell with you. Now that requires that you show some etiquette. You know, when you're using the bathroom, you know, keep it clean and everything, and really don't try to use it while your cellie's eating. You know, that's not a good thing to do. But when you get to Algoa, they had one housing unit. There's just a big open dorm. Fortunately, I didn't get put in that, but I got put in a housing unit that had these rooms that held 14 people. I think it was 14 people. After that, they moved you down the hall to these 2-man cells, but they didn't have no bathroom or, you know, no toilet or anything, sink in them. So you had to go down to where the showers was at. You had 5 or 6 toilets lined up right next to one another. No partition in between, and right in front of them was the urinals. I did not like that at all. And there was just like an unwritten code, like if somebody was sitting there using, taking a shit, you did not stand in the urinal in front of him. That's just disrespectful, rude. It was just an unwritten rule, you know, and understandably so. It just sucked. There was no privacy whatsoever. The one thing I did like about it is that the yard was open all day long, and then from lunch you can go straight out to the yard. I like that part of it. Another thing I hated about it, when I was in a maximum security prison, I was used to there's gnats or something all around me. I was used to dealing with that type of people, you know, lifers and stuff like that. And there was it seems funny almost saying this, but there's a level of respect in the maximum security prisons that's not in the lower level prisons. You know, I don't care what anybody says. Oh, you had some people in the lower levels like Algoa and other places that were respectful, but the majority of them were not. This caused the guy to get seriously hurt down there by a guy that came from a maximum security prison like mine. These guys was giving this guy, there's a wannabes, a bunch of wannabes, white guys, and they was picking on this old head. He'd been down a long time. I knew him from the walls, and I never talked to him much. They was picking on him, and he said, "Man, you guys need to leave me alone." He told me one time, he goes, "Hey, man," he goes, "I'm not going to be able to make it through Algoa, man. I'm going to hurt one of these guys." And I said, "Man, just hold off, man, just chill, you know." He goes, "I'm not going to be disrespected." What could I say to that? I completely agree with him. And so it so happened that after lunch I was heading down to the yard, and I don't know what had happened, but one of those dudes that was down there, and he was laying on the ground. He'd done hit him. The CO comes running up, and just like from behind and beside him, and I think that was instinct. He just turned around and bap, bap, bap. Another CO, which people told me later he was a new CO. He hadn't been there very long. Goes walking up and he goes, "Dude, stay back." Tells the guy, the CO, to stay back. And the CO was just trying to do his job. The guy hesitated and then goes to draw his mace, and he kind of rushed forward, and dude got him too. But it all started with those guys disrespecting him. I don't think he should have took it that far with the COs, you know. So he probably had his date taken and all this and that. But I remember one time in the chow hall, dude goes by me and bumps into me as I'm putting my tray up. I go after him. But what I didn't know is he bumped into another guy. This guy goes running past me, and they got these concrete pillars that go up, you know, to the ceiling. Comes up and grabs the guy by the back of his head and rams his head into one of those pillars. I was going to do that, something like that. But anyway, the dude beat me to it. But that, I'm not saying everybody in Algoa is bad. It's just that I'm used to dealing with a different type of person. There's no two-man cells, and when you do get a two-man cell, you got to go down and use the bathroom where there's a bunch of them lined up, and it was the people. And that includes the COs. The COs, not all of them, but a lot of them was just ignorant. It's just a different type of attitude in those low-level prisons that I don't like. And, you know, you just got to be ready down there for somebody disrespecting you, and you're either going to deal with it or you're just going to let it slide. You know? And people from maximum, just remember this, if you guys are in a low-level prison, just try to show respect, because there might be somebody from a maximum security prison, and he ain't going to take no disrespect. Some of the other ones running around might. There was a lot of fights down there, but hardly no stabbings. You know, that was another good thing. I don't remember one stabbing while I was at Algoa. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, I just don't remember any when I was there. But there was a lot of fist fights because a lot of people was on that K2. People was wondering why I didn't like about Algoa. And one guy even asked me, said, "Well, do you hate it worse than Farmington?" No, I really hated Farmington a lot. And Farmington was a level 4, and I had 2-man cells there. But Farmington, it was just another world. But they're about the same, I guess. But if I had to choose which one I hated the worst, I'd have to say Farmington. Anyway, I thank you all for watching. See you next time.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are